You're giving Jung Soomin today.
I know, that's what I was going for.
Oh, are you?
Cool guy.
Oh, cool guy.
Yeah.
Cool guy from Chicago. Just represent.
Sure. Just represent.
This outfit's cute.
Thank you. Third Coast.
Best Coast.
Best Coast.
Welcome back to Boys Love Build Up, in which we discuss possibly the best survival show we'll ever watch. Truly.
I'm not even joking.
I think I've made peace with that.
I think I've made peace with that too. This is it.
I don't think it's going to get better.
No, I don't
because
think so.
I think
this might...
you have to go. Everyone has debuted. Mm-hmm. Everyone is an actual. They are all vocalists.
Yeah,
and like K-pop, when it's even like Kingdom, Queendom, Puzzle, stuff like that, it's like people who are debuted, fine, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's people who have certain skill, like in their group, like they make up that position in their group that they need. Which I think maybe like works better. Like we watch Queendom Puzzle, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't watch Queendom. So like Queendom, it's still like your whole group. So you're still cohesive in that unit.
But in Queendom Puzzle,
there were still some times where it was like, oh, you're not giving what you're supposed to be giving.
Yeah.
So maybe in like those situations it'd be better, but
I think everyone
is a vocalist in this.
We are both genuinely excited when people who are really good at what they do flourish in that. And it's hard, obviously, in a regular survival show because sometimes you can't control what you can show, and it's really interesting when people have to like strategize on what they're able to show. And I think this, because it's all, in essence, an even playing field because they're all vocalists. It's just focusing on the one aspect.
I mean, not to like get so philosophical about it, but like that is the joy of like art. That's the beauty of like experiencing someone doing something so well, even in settings in which you would not anticipate experiencing that. Like you go to a local theater and you see like a really great performance. You go to a church and like there's a soloist in the choir who's like absolutely like
it's
like
these small things.
And it's like that is the beauty that like makes, I don't know, being like human and culture so enriching and fulfilling. I am not trying to say that like build up is culture, but also it's not culture.
It's not culture, girl.
And we saw real culture today. I mean, like we saw culture in this episode that I felt like I was like, the girlies who originally performed this might need to be a little concerned that they are getting outperformed.
Or it's a testament to their work because it can live on in a new form and have a completely different meaning and story.
Full English songs, right? So like fully I can understand.
Yes.
Two songs that I'm familiar with in like I've heard them before, but I've never like dissected the lyrics or anything. So that was like a nice new experience for me, but also like songs that obviously I don't know from Korean in any way whatsoever. But from the title alone and the way, like music, because I'm not saying anything new,
music,
right? People have been saying this for centuries, but like music has, in a way that like music, dance, and visual art are like the three ways that truly can transcend all languages. Like it is the one... not the one, but it is one of the three things that like culture creates that is able to be accessed by everyone.
Transcendental across languages.
And the fact that I was crying at these Korean songs that I don't know what they were singing, right?
But
I can only imagine what the song is about, truly based on like the tone. But I was so incredibly moved to tears. It does help that Korean is a very like
emotional language.
It's a very emotional language, and it's so vowel based that it helps them like sing. But bitch, do we even want to really talk about the like picking?
The top tiers, bottom tier. I mean, so essentially the top tier had to assign a lower tier into their group, and they're split by 3. And in the next song choice, basically from top down, they pick a pair because this next challenge is 2 versus 2. So it's a rivalry battle. You can pick one. If you get picked by someone above your rank, you have to accept.
Right.
And then once all the pairs are picked, then they basically like choose, oh yes, I want to battle them. And if no one chooses to like challenge, then the person gets to be like, we get to pick who we're challenging. So there were really no big I think the only shock that I really had was Jui picked Gwangsok
That was
in Tomboy.
Crazy. That was crazy.
And that was crazy. And but everyone had a big reaction because it's like, he was number one from us.
Yeah,
we all voted him number one.
Yeah.
Haram picked Junhyuk because he was like, I feel like it's going to be so hard, off cuff. Like, I feel like it's going to be so hard to pick from one of us. So just pick me.
Because they were Breath, right?
That was
Breath.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The hard, like notoriously the hardest song. So of course, like,
so
how do
like,
you pick any of us?
And
then he did.
He did.
And then he was like, I didn't believe he was going to pick me.
I'm so disappointed. Girl, don't even say.
Don't do this.
Even if you, because I believe that he was probably saying it to just like the stress, or just be like, oh, just pick me or whatever. Like, he doesn't.
Words
it's like
have
half-hearted,
meanings.
but that's another person who we've discussed. Like, Haram is like younger.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be like, okay, well, you said you would, so I'll just pick you and not ruffle any more feathers.
Yeah. Sad to see Jay pick Gonu, our beloved.
That's when the beloveds are up against each other. It's sad.
It is
and
sad.
It starts there and then it ends in a beloved off.
So many. I mean, there's so many
offs.
beloveds in this show.
Oh, girl, 40
and we're
beloveds.
adding, and we're like collecting them as the show continues.
I know.
Hayun,
Inhwan today.
Inhwan and Hayun. I'm forming the Chicago Legion of the fan base. Like, I am the president of the local chapter of the Hayun contingent.
Yeah. You will always have a home in Chicago. Let's just say that. These two, Inhwan.
And it's not Jung Soomin's family. It's me.
It's us.
Yeah.
This show is tough. I feel really... they are leading with their emotions in this show. Because it's so vulnerable singing. Like...
music is, in this way, so emotional.
Totally.
Like, it connects... I mean, like, that's the thing, like, people use... Okay, I'm going to reference something really crazy. Just go with me here. So, the Trump campaign has started doing this thing where he'll give a speech, and they've started scoring the background of his speech with, like, really dramatic, swelling music, almost like the Independence Day president speech from the movie. Music has that thing of being able to... It fills in so much of what your brain knows as...
It feels in the emotional connection that your brain is making your body react to what you're hearing. Yeah,
and sometimes it is manipulative, right? Yeah. Like, that is an example of a manipulative tool. And it's sometimes like filmmakers will use it too. If like, I mean, sometimes if it feels like the scene is cloying, like it's too sweet, then it's like, oh, it's probably because they're adding on this other layer.
Right.
That's why, like, when we watched Eighth Sense, there was so much music that wasn't added to the score. It was just them talking. And that's why it felt so realistic and so raw and vulnerable, was because it was just that. It was just their acting ability that was able to land the emotional punch of the show. But sometimes adding music can, like, make it extra.
Yeah.
But in this example, like, the show is about music, so it's obviously going to be super emotional. And I think it's interesting that this first rivalry, this first versus battle, had what I don't think I agreed with, but like, one of the critiques was it felt too emotional. Yeah. Like, it felt like you were putting it on.
Yeah. Or like, too much. Too much.
Just really quickly, Boo Seung Kwan is here.
Boo Seung Kwan is here. And she is giving jokes. She is giving...
Boo Seung Kwan is so funny. I wish all idols were up to his level of, like, just so fast.
So fast. Wit.
Very witty. Very Oscar Wilde, in a way, one could say. No, he just, like, really knows. Yep. He never gives the reaction that you think he's going to give, which is always, like, why it's so funny. Yes. He's just so good at this.
So good at it.
He's such a clear student of Korean variety shows, and it's like very endearing.
Well, that's like 17 lore. Like, they were not being promoted in the early years, so he had to just do everything. He was like, I will do every show to promote 17. Yeah. And it really shows that like, he is so comfortable.
It's so
and it
good.
Breaks the tension.
Yeah.
It's crazy that this is his first time judging, because I think he would be a great, very comforting, but then still like real advice.
But I also think this is the perfect show for him to judge, because he is such an excellent vocalist.
Yes.
Like he is so clearly, it is a natural ability for him, but it's also he's technically great. So he like marries those two. And I think there are some contestants on the show who are more natural singers.
Right.
Like, who's the guy with that crazy
Taewoo. Yes.
Like has like just raw vocal talent. And then there are like clear students of like the musical theater kids who are like,
they have the craft.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So this first rivalry.
Okay.
Jeup is approached by both Soohwan and donghun.
Yeah.
And bitch, I don't blame him.
Soohwan was the winner for Declamani, and donghun was the winner for whatever song that was. I don't even remember. Oh yes,
Jeup was like, they both extended the Paul Hollywood handshake, and he had to pick which one to do. He ended up picking Soohwan because he had it was going to be his first time performing with him,
right?
Since he had already performed.
Which makes sense. Yeah,
does make sense.
Yeah.
donghun ends up picking Sunyeol from Uptension.
Yes, great choice.
Up and coming beloved.
Yes.
He's producer Candy Muse. Like he gives good talking head. He's giving good reactions.
My guess, he's an ENFP.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, you're
just like he has that, like he can't contain. He just is like, his energy is abounding.
And his story, he's been like, this is my fifth.
I know.
Him and donghun are like, girl, we're racking up these survival shows. What are we doing?
I mean, not only like wumuti, Jay, there's so many on the show who are.
And Sunyeol, in the first 2 episodes, he's the one like taking notes backstage, whatever the judges are saying.
Very cute.
So, very cute. Okay. Jeup and Soohwan pick Sherlock by SHINee, but in a
pop rock
interpretation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, great SHINee song.
Great SHINee song.
We love Sherlock.
My God. Yeah.
This is the iconic, like the march.
So good.
And the hair.
And
the SHINee 2012 hair.
Jeup is a problem. Jeup is a big problem. I can't.
Jeup for me is a little bit the sheer you problem, where it's like you're too good.
You're so good. You're too good.
It's too easy.
Yeah. But I would.
It feels crazy saying that because I obviously am like voting for him. But like
you're so good, but also like Shiryu, this face. Girl, what? You can't have people. Why do people have it all?
It is infuriating that he
looks like
sounds
that and
like
sounds
that, and then like because like Soohwan
also
sounds incredible, but like has like a more like face that you're like, oh, I can talk to you and have a conversation.
Yes,
you're a normal looking person.
Yeah,
it's not to the same extreme, obviously.
Oh my God.
But it's like the Susan Boyle thing where it's like, oh wow, like
you're just a normal
person sounds like that.
Looks like it's
incredible.
He's
that
still
people
also very much chiseled face, but it's just like a rounder.
It's
face.
just round. Yeah, he has like perfect circle head.
Yes, but Jeup looks like handsome Squidward, and I'm so.
And also, he got that haircut too, so it's just like he just like looks coiffed and whatever.
Oh my God. So the whole thing for this song was like, oh, Jeup's gonna have all the high parts.
And then they swap.
Gag City. It's
sure, Nikki, absolutely.
No. Gag. Soohwan was also giving those high notes.
Mm-hmm. They swapped. Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
This got a 96 from Solar and 88 from Umkwang. That's the disparity. And then all the judges' scores will be averaged between the two.
Yeah, I mean,
teams.
I don't even know.
The scoring is going to be tough across
because they're all
going to be so good.
I am curious if there's going to be someone who gets like a low high score. We see a low score.
We see a 75, but I don't predict it's going to get any lower than 70s.
I also didn't agree with that.
I know,
score.
Me too. Yeah, we'll get there. Okay.
What is your take of this performance? Because I thought it was excellent, but I do have a critique.
It's showy. They definitely were like, let's show them all we got, which is a fair strategy to do.
Oh, if the critique that we had in the audition round, right, was like some of these songs didn't show off range.
Oh,
this shows off range for sure. My critique of this.
Girl, we have our own Hayun in here.
That was jeup.
That was jeup. Yes, Fujik jeup.
My one big critique of this song. I thought it was a great performance.
Yeah.
And they knocked it out of the fucking park. It didn't go anywhere. It
started big already.
Huge and then just stayed huge.
They had a
time.
fake out of like, you can't see me. I'm like, all the lights are up. And so I thought it was going to go into like a more melodic place, but it just went back to the same kind of level.
It did keep the rap. It was like 4 bars. Like it's not a long rap, but like the show's not rapping, whatever, it's fine. And then the other thing, so Solar is the one who gave them their highest score at 96.
Because of that fake out moment.
Because of the fake out. Sweetheart, the fake out was done by production. It is not right, like them turning off the lights.
For Miss Solar.
I'm not coming for Miss Solar, but like I feel like the judging should be specifically about like their performance itself. And like it is a part of the performance as a whole, right. But like I wouldn't give them a 96 and be like, I just loved the graphic design of the thing behind them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's like a similar idea. I thought it was cool what they went with, and like props to the production team for like going that route.
Totally.
Because it is cool. I don't think it's like when they cut to you, Solar. This is a note. When they cut to you, you should have something more to say. And maybe she did say more. I think
she did. We just got the edit of
edit of like, that was cool.
Yeah, because production was like, oh, she loved production. Great, let's use that clip.
Sure. Throw us the Emmy.
Throw us the Emmy, girl. Yeah.
But I did think it was really good.
I thought it was a good performance too. I think it's the right performance to start us off to know like, this is what people are going to bring.
Totally. Let's talk about donghun, who I feel like, I don't know.
I'm going crazy.
I think I'm like, am I a donghun stan?
I feel like I went crazy.
Is he an ult? I don't know anymore. I don't know what's going on. Anytime I see him, I'm like, well, this is...
You already want to like, it's not pity, right? You don't feel bad for him, but
I don't
connect...
I'm never going to feel bad for someone that looks like this. Sorry.
Sorry.
I won't.
Sorry.
Period.
It's an instant connection. He is singing to the person that is watching him right now. Do you know what I mean?
I just think he knows how to perform.
Yeah.
Like it's like a complete confidence in the ability of exactly accurately assessing what the song is about and what emotion is needed to convey the song.
Totally.
In like a way that is completely transcendent.
Right.
I feel stupid even critiquing the show because there are no critiques of the show.
Yeah.
I genuinely have I don't agree with like how a couple of these shake out, but like I don't
it's not like they're
just
wrong.
like it's so good. The show is so good.
Yeah.
I can't even be like, oh, I'm having fun because this performance was bad, right? Like it doesn't have any of the fun like Bakdawa, the houses in Voice Planet where we can be like, haha, this is fun.
No,
like there's a wide range of ability.
Bitch.
The range of ability is so narrow because of everyone is so good, which is so enjoyable. But then I'm like, why am I commenting on this? I sit on a blue couch on YouTube and I'm like, I just felt like I should be giving a little more.
Yeah.
Who am I? Okay. I'm having an existential crisis about the show.
Yeah. Okay, so they sing End of the Day.
This song is called End of the Day.
And they are like, Donghun is like, okay, when you were listening to the song, what do you think about? Or Sunya. And Donghun said, I think of myself. Like, how hard I've worked, how hard I keep trying. And
at the end of the day, what do I tell myself
What do I tell myself in order to keep going? And Sunya was like, same girl. Trauma.
Same girl.
We cried again. I cried again. And
I feel like I'm going to cry at every ballad.
I'm going to cry at every ballad. But Donghun just has
I don't know. It's like magic. It is genuine magic.
it's like, the timbre in his tone too. It's like
so
it sounds
warm.
Yes,
It's so
sounds so vulnerable, right? Like I feel like
there's so many things, right? I feel crazy talking about this show. I want to jump out the window. There's so many things. First of all, technically, his voice is his vowels are completely rounded.
Yeah.
He sings in the proper placement, so it's like hitting every area of his like
that's
cavity. That's like it's reverberating and then heading out of his mouth.
He has his own acoustics. Like he knows it's hitting the soft palate. He
like
knows
his
how to
entire,
reverberate it.
It sounds like his head is hollow.
I know
because it bounces around and then shoots out. And we hear it,
and it's like, wow, the voice is already mixed.
It's so moving because of how good it is. You are able to, as a listener, you are able to be swept away into the emotion because technically it's already perfect.
Yeah.
It's
just a vehicle
there's no way
feel emotion,
to get like caught in being like, oh, I'm nervous that it's not going to be there, so I can't. You're able to be swept away by it. Don't think Sunyul is perfect.
Yes.
But I think because Sunyul has a little more vulnerability, it's more interesting.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing with donghun for me is that it does sound like, because he plays, I think he plays with his vulnerability in his voice a little better. That when he first starts singing, it does sound like, ooh, like, where's this gonna go? I'm kind of not nervous, but it's like
you're interested.
I'm interested. Like, where is it gonna go? And then when he just gives that voice, it's like, oh shit, like Which I think for Sunyul, I liked his tone a lot. It was definitely a cleaner tone.
It's more forward and more bright.
More like it's brighter.
Yeah. Okay, this is
what I'm saying. It's nitpicking. But here's the thing
it
too.
It is the most it's
the smallest thing. But here's the thing. So Jaehwan gives the 75 and his big critique was donghun, it doesn't sound stable, right? He thinks it's not. I think
Sorry, that's the craziest. That's incorrect.
I think it's because he went from Don't Go to this other ballad. So now it is just a tighter laser focus on him singing a ballad. So I think it points out, because he does have it does sound tonally different from when he's in the like breathy area into the belting. But
do you agree with the critique? Because how I interpret, what my interpretation of the critique was, is that it is a manipulative emotion. It is not a true. I think he was saying like you're performing the emotion, you aren't living the emotion, and I disagree with that completely, because I felt like he was very connected to the song. I felt like the emotion was coming from the song itself and not like him layering it on top. I
thought that the critique was more about.
I do hate a little bit talking about art.
Yeah.
Mostly because A, it's so subjective, but also B, because B, we sound crazy. What do you mean you're layering the emotion on top? That doesn't even make sense. Okay.
Like here, Sokun, the Glasses SM vocalist, he was wow, I completely disagree.
Yes.
With Jaehwan's critique.
Yeah.
So I think Jaehwan's critique was more about the vocal, that it didn't because he said stable, and I'm going to talk about stable vocals later on again.
They reference it being. He said it was unstable. There's nobody in the show that's unstable, to be quite honest.
Yeah. I think it's because I really think it's just so hyper-focused on his voice because it's the second ballad in a row.
Yeah.
That I think.
I think it was smarter for the other group because they went in a different direction from what they had previously showed.
I do agree. Everyone does it, right? Of like the second song is a ballad in order to go against the other one.
Right.
I think that's like the smartest choice you can make. In my opinion.
Show a range.
Show a range.
Yeah.
But I would have picked this one.
I would have picked this one too. I would have picked this one too because I felt like overall, while I think there were things I liked about the first group more,
Sherlock,
I thought that this group performed it. There was more of a story in this performance. And I think in the other group...
that's hard. Are we just going to say that with all the ballads, though?
No.
We will in this episode though.
We will in this episode.
I think I liked donghun better than Sunyeol in this performance.
Yes.
But Sunyeol,
if I was scoring it, I'd be 99 versus 98.
Yes.
What are we even talking about?
But Sunyeol, I think we're still even though he's been around the block, and Sungkwan says that,
yeah.
I've seen you guys perform for 5 years.
That comment from him.
Yes.
Of being it's watching you, having done this idol experience with both of you.
Yeah.
It was such a pleasure to watch you guys perform. Yeah. Even over the years, it's been enjoyable watching you advance because you're so good at what you do.
That's the thing.
And it's so...
That's what it feels
lovely
here.
Especially from a contemporary, it would be so lovely to hear that from someone else. Someone who's doing and experiencing and living the exact same life as you, telling you it was good, that you're wow. You are the one who wholly understands what I'm going through. And so hearing it from you is the full validation of
totally.
Thank you for seeing the whole experience.
Yeah.
In a way that sometimes mentors, it feels doesn't see that current contemporary aspect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But again, it would be so close.
But I agree. If I was there watching this live, I think Sherlock would have blown me the fuck away.
I think they should have an audience. I kind of hate that nobody except 7 people are hearing this live in person. I understand there's a whole crew, right?
I think it's like Queen of Puzzle. They're gonna have an audience in the later episodes.
I know, but it's so good at first.
So good.
That I'm I hate that no one's experiencing this live.
Yeah.
Even if there's not an audience vote, because I don't even care about an audience vote, really. I just feel I kind of wish people were experiencing this for the sake of this is incredible works of art happening.
Yeah. You are really going through it with this show.
There is a performance in this that I don't think I will ever experiencing again.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
I was so moved that I haven't been the same since it happened.
And it happened 30 minutes ago.
I sorry to TMI, the real TMI, not the K-pop TMI.
You were in the bathroom.
But I went to the restroom after we recorded the reaction, and I just watched a certain performance on repeat until I was ready to exit the bathroom. Can I take this back to K-pop fans, K-pop fandom?
Sure.
I think what people get there is a level of
fans have such a deep connection, right? When it connects.
Yes, when it connects. And sometimes it's not real. Sometimes it is bias of your understanding of the group and the performers and the blah, 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 clouding, maybe rose coloring your view of each performance.
Yeah.
Right? And anybody who's watching our channel, I think that is the enjoyable part of being I am experiencing something that is not intended for me. Mm-hmm. But yet there is...
But it's still getting through to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the acknowledgement that when you have the Grammys, this is not about the Grammys. I don't care about the Grammys, but it is the acknowledgement of we as Americans or people who engage in a more American culture, right? Because it is by and large the dominant culture of kind of the general world because we push out so much of it. There is no best, right? There are incredible performers everywhere doing all of it. And it's so...
Yeah.
There is a bleakness that genuinely I feel exists. And I think I'm very inspired by finding all of this goodness, goodness with a capital G, out in avenues that are not traditionally viewed.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that there's not a whole machine, obviously, like pumping out this content, right? Like the only reason we have the show is because
it's
there's a
CJ
whole arm of right.
Yeah.
But what we're hearing is not real.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so I think, especially like music, as I said, like that is the one thing that people get so impassioned about. People can get very passionate about like acting.
Yeah.
People can get very passionate about even like dance and art. Like you can get very impassioned about like understanding the meaning and like going layer by layer into it. But music past anything else has a way to connect that nothing else does.
Yeah, it's like it's what makes us human. It's like
legitimately, it is like the connection to ancient stuff that like I'm getting really emotional
like
about.
Yeah, like ancient, but then also all 7 billion people in the world.
Like from the fact that like Neolithic people have been making music forever.
Yeah.
And this is the point that we've advanced to.
Yeah.
Or like progressed to. Not even advanced necessarily, because like some of these beats are ancient.
Yeah.
Tones, like when you take like history of whatever, when you learn history of music, you learn like people ages ago figured out like triads.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
or stacking
people
a chord.
on stones were like, oh, these sound good.
These sound good. Oh, let me harmonize.
They work together.
Yeah.
And so like, it's like there's something so beyond us that sometimes like it feels like it's
yeah.
Jesus. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. I didn't think this was gonna happen from a fucking 4-person barbershop quartet ass show. That's why people get very passionate about music and musicians.
Not like us.
Not
We're
like us.
very.
I think we very
It's business only for us, I think.
But the world can be very bleak, and so when you find something that makes the bleakness more human and more connective, I don't even know if connective is a word, but it is like I don't want to say anything like really cliche, but like it's like a balm to the soul. Like it really like reminds people, I think, of humanity in a very real way. And that's kind of what art does.
It expresses the humanity.
It's like the catharsis of like why we're all fucking living day to day, working these jobs, or like whatever it is that you do day to day. Like the point of
surviving.
art is to make everything a little bit better and sweeter, and maybe not even like nicer, but just like it's supposed to connect, and it does, and it's crazy when you feel it, which I felt like in this episode. I felt that
totally
in a very specific way that I don't know was necessarily intended.
But I think it's a
so you thought donghun was bad is what you're saying.
But it's definitely an avalanche. Like by connecting us with donghun first, who it's established, right? We've seen him in the last episode. We know his story already.
Yeah.
To then the second set of performances, like discovering this hidden talent there. And then to the third, where it's like, if you're a watcher of all the Mnet shows, you already know like, oh, I have an understanding of what this is going to look like. And then they completely flip it around and show you different sides of people that you never thought of.
Yes. And I also really do want to say, I know there's still 40 people on the show. There's going to be people that are not going to get a full storyline.
Yeah.
But I think getting it down to a 2 versus 2 battle, I am going to hear everyone's singular voice and what they are able to do.
Totally.
And I think it's like,
coming from a place where we in Boys Planet, there were people that we never heard.
Truly people that when we did those stupid like funerals for people when they got eliminated, there were people I was like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Because Mnet hasn't shown that to us. And that's kind of that's supposed to be the gag of Boys Planet, was it's 100 people, but like the produced shows. But like this is, I don't know, it's so refreshing that I feel like even if I don't know everybody's personality, and even if everybody's isn't going to get a storyline,
every single
and even
person.
if not everybody is, right? Not everybody's a fucking jeup. right?
Yeah.
Like he's kind of a singular talent on this show even.
Yeah.
But like it's just everyone is getting a chance to shine in a very specific way, and it's very nice and enjoyable in a way that people like to complain about Mnet editing, or just like I think like survival show editing in general,
because they have to build narratives,
and they have to build narratives, and you have to when you edit any reality show, you have to be able to, when you go back, you should be able to track the winner from episode 1 to episode the end. And I think honestly, it's even harder. I think
it's
in
harder
these
here
shows
because it's happening in real time. Yeah, so you're
Oh.
just kind of making threads, and hopefully they pay off.
Right.
So anyway, let's get to
I'm
the.
so sorry. I did not mean to go so meta. I swear to God. I didn't realize how much it affected me. Okay. So the next 2 versus 2 battle is Sungun from CIX and Neon versus Inhwan and Jaekyung.
2 balladeers.
2 balladeers. So up first is Sungun and Neon. So Sungun and Neon are doing a song called Cheat.
By Crush.
And
they were like...
Our second Crush song.
Yeah. Well, Neon is like, I fucking love Crush. Crush is my girl.
We're going to go in an R&B route.
Yes, they're like, R&B, that's our voices. Let's just lean in. And I think that is the smartest choice for all of these 2 and 2s. Pick what you are good at and what you love doing and what makes you stand out, and then just run with it.
Because it's
all subjective. So you just have to...
It's all subjective, and also like when you love something, when you genuinely love something, it's always going to come through, period.
Yes. That people will instantly connect because of it.
Your energy will change because you like to that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am so warm right now. Holy hell.
In this performance, no one really expected, again, Neon having like a full vocal range.
Yes, which I was like, okay, but I mean, I get to the judges a little bit because like they only saw his one performance. They didn't see his audition or whatever, but like I think even the like other contestants were surprised, and I was like, you all heard? Okay.
He's saying Crush song, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was my biggest takeaway, was that he did a really good job of stacking their voices together.
Yeah, because he arranged the song.
And that was their deal. He was like, you tell me how to perform it, and I'll arrange it for us. I mean, this got Dahi on her feet.
But it got almost all of them on their feet.
Dahi was like, I'm supposed to be like not part of this, but girl, I'm living. She's
just supposed to be the MC in the corner, girl.
She's standing, she's dancing, she loves it. Yeah. I think I don't know. There's something about Neon that's
girl, don't tell me. There's something about Neon. A short man
with just like the charisma that he could get away with murder. Literally,
I do feel like he does have like he has a lot of charisma. His tone is so unique. He's got the nerve.
And he's got the talent.
And he's really got the talent. I don't know what I would like combine that into, but
I think Sunghoon does a really great job too. His voice is like hop.
Here was I think what the real challenge of this episode was. And some of them I think it worked out perfectly, and some I think it didn't. And I don't even know if some of them realized that this was the challenge.
Right.
Here's what the challenge is. The challenge is genuinely find someone who's going to balance perfectly with you. And sometimes it's you're going to gel perfectly together. And sometimes it's going to be you're so opposite that you color in the other's negative space.
Totally.
And the song itself has to be matched to both of you.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
That's tough.
Oh, it's so hard.
Literally, the group that they go after this, they go through 60 ballads to try and find the one that they wanted to sing. Like,
I think they just wanted to karaoke 60 ballads, to be quite honest. But yeah, this is so fun.
Yeah,
this is so confident. They are both.
It didn't feel like they were performing.
Nope. It felt like, and not in like, oh, it wasn't they were performing, but like,
I feel like we just walked in on someone jamming.
Yes, it felt so jam band energy, even though they obviously had like, I'm still like dripping snot from my cry.
Yeah.
Even though they had
they prepared this and like
they clearly had like semi choreo like going on, like blah blah blah. But like it was you were so able to be swept away into the energy because they were so effusive during it. And I do think in terms of like people who complement each other really well, Neon's voice is so specific that I think Seungun's voice being an all-rounder, like just kind of nothing stands out about it in like kind of the perfect way for it to complement Neon.
Yes. Yeah.
You can't have Neon. You can't be like Neon and jeup, and like it can't be four people who all Gwangsok. Like
yes,
it would be awful because you'd get taken in two different directions. Like this is just perfect enough for them to like kind of match each other evenly and support the other in what they're doing. I thought it was an almost perfect performance.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
I was so impressed by it.
It's just tough because their competition is just a completely...
I think we're going to have an
song.
argument about this. Continue. You can go to the next song.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. The next one is the ballad, Take Me Back in Time. Inhwan and Jaekyung. Inhwan is literally like, I'm a balladeer. I sing ballads. This is my gig. This is all I do. I'm not even a singer.
I'm a student.
I just like ballads.
Yeah. How did
you end up on this show? You just audition and they're like, okay.
That's crazy.
He's a busker. He's literally going one-on-one as he's picking.
This is Sungo.
Would you like a ballad? Yes, this is the one that looks like Sungo. Do you sing ballads? Do you sing ballads? Do you sing ballads? He finally finds one in Jaekyung and they're like,
who's low? He's a low
tier.
Yeah.
Inhwan is fully like, there's a reason why ballads are number one in Korea.
Because it is the, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
I already talked about music. I'm not doing it again.
And he's like, and that's it. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
To bring the ballads, not even back, but like to make everyone aware this is why she's number one.
Yeah.
They sing Take Me Back in Time. And
you had a real reaction.
I was having a real reaction. Jaehwan gave it 100. It was the first 100.
Mm-hmm. Not the last.
And it's not the last. I thought that Inhwan's tone, performance, technique, you can tell he's perfected this.
This is what I'm talking about. What do you mean you're a student?
What do you mean? He loves ballads, so he knew exactly when to push and pull. And as a performer, that is the hardest thing to do because you have to show vulnerability while you're on stage, but at the same time, you still have to show technique. But you can't show technique. No. You have to look and appear like you're going through the emotion at that time. But you can't do that because that's not sustainable. You can't go and cry every day.
No.
And that literally in this song,
it's like the acting thing of like, it is more interesting to watch someone almost cry than watch them cry.
And he does that here. The end of the song, it's just
whole body chills.
It's almost about like his whole body is about to crumble, but the song is ended and he did it. And that's what, to me, I was like, that is someone who studied this art.
Yes.
And knows how to create it.
Yep. I would have given it to the other group still.
I would have given it still. I would have done this one.
I thought the only issue that I had with this song, and I thought it was a genuinely like a perfect ballad.
Yeah.
Like it was so beautiful. They were so good together. I thought when they sang together, their voices are so similar that it was like truly like you're just hearing stacked vocals and it's like perfect.
Yeah.
Inhwan had too much of the song.
Oh.
It felt like it was Inhwan's song and then there was like a backup vocalist. Yeah. And that was the only thing that I was like, I wish it featured both of them evenly because he started and ended the song. And I was like, I mean, I get it. He is so good at this. And if you're gonna like,
if you're kind
of worried about someone who's the lower tier, like I get it, but
and if the goal is just to beat the other person, it's not even to beat all 40 people.
Right, you're just beating the other group.
Beating the other group.
Yeah. That would be my only critique of this song, genuinely. Yeah. And so for that reason, I felt like the challenge was what the challenge was.
Two
and
versus
the first group, I think, did the challenge better. So that's where I'm like, so that when you were saying like, so we're always going to give it to the ballad, I don't think so for that reason. But I did love this performance.
Yeah.
And I will be watching it again later.
All right, now we're about to do 3 hours of this next performance. I can't even talk about these two.
Okay.
Okay.
So the next battle is Jay and Bitseon. And Bitseon was also from FM. I believe. That's
yes.
he's from the same training
MONT is the
company.
name of the group
Yeah.
that he was in.
And Wumuti and Hayun.
Hayun.
Those are the two battles. So we are getting. I mean, we're
Pop
getting
versus
pops.
pop. They were already like, these are pop versus pop.
Right.
Jay and Bitseon are standing there, and Hayun and Wumuti are like, should we volunteer? And Wumuti literally says, no, they're gonna pick us.
No, don't.
Just wait.
Just wait,
because
girl.
I think they're gonna pick us.
Wait.
And they do.
I know Jay because they've known each other since under 19.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
They both came to Korea.
Yeah. Crazy.
And so there's this friendly rivalry between the two.
It's very fun.
Yes. And so they're going to do a pop-off. Jay and Bitseon do Dangerously by Mr. Puth. And Wumuti and Hayun do Falling by Mr. Styles.
So we're going to get 2 English songs in a row.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about these.
I actually don't want to talk about these songs.
I literally
Let's just go to the end.
Go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching.
These two are the reason why there is no right way to do a survival show.
I really don't want to cry again.
You don't know how things are going to connect. You don't know how things are going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I take in survival shows and reality shows as like, if I get gagged, I'm living. I want to expect the unexpected.
I would love someone in like Victorian England to come listen to our conversation because
They're
if
like,
I'm
what?
They'd be like, what?
What? Well, that's
Excuse me?
If I gag, I'm living. The way this turns out is like, this is lightning in a bottle. This will never happen again.
No, and I don't.
And the fact
it won't.
that it is Jay and Wumuti. I expected this from Jay. Something was happen. It's going to make him like something. I did not expect this from Wumuti.
I want to remind everybody, Wumuti did not make it to the finals. He didn't even make it to the third elimination.
He didn't make it to Switch, girl.
He didn't, yeah.
He did his little Zoom verse. He did Wumuti TT.
And then no one voted for
him.
This person who's about to do what they
did what needed to be done, you could say.
Oh. It was past what needed to be done.
Yeah. Okay, so in Dangerously, they both go at it the right way. They were gonna do Bruno Mars songs, and both of them were like, no.
They're gonna expect that from us.
They're gonna expect that from us. So they go in like a more like emotional pop ballad.
Puth.
Yeah, moment.
It's like a genuine good song from Charlie Puth, who I unfortunately think is like a very skilled singer-songwriter.
Yes.
Who I just think most of his songs are not good.
Yeah.
I think they're like perfectly fine.
Yeah.
This is like his standout song.
Yeah,
for
totally.
Sure.
Jay's amazing, but Bitseon is like...
Bitseon was kind of a revelation in this.
Yeah.
I was very shocked by him.
So emotionally driven, but at the same time showing a full range. This is Jay This is Jay's full powers. Like literally. This is his full range. We saw it in its entirety in this one song. And the fact that
don't even talk to me about Jay Chang.
When he did
don't even speak to me about Jay
when
Chang.
he did the killing part and I
died and I was killed.
And he had that like smile on his face because he genuinely likes to do this.
He wants to be a singer.
This is his calling. He's like, I was put on this earth to sing and perform like this.
Yes.
To make people like feel what I'm feeling when I perform. And it's when all of that hits, when you know you're calling and you're doing it and it's paying off.
There's truly there's nothing better. There's genuinely nothing better. It's so good. This performance is so crazy good. And then it
gets beaten.
I know.
By 4 points.
I know.
Okay, so this was the one where they bring up stable again. They were shocked at how stable Bitseon was when he go from the lighter, breathier parts to the really belting parts.
Yes.
Which I think that was what they were saying, like donghun needed more, right? Or like that.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
big of a shift. I don't know what to think of it, because it's like, if you know where you can go, if you know that you can go vulnerable and it's still sounding good, versus like the more powerful parts and it sounds good, like maybe what they're just looking for is that like it's consistent, so at least it's like we feel that you're in control the entire time, but then still has to feel like it's coming spontaneously.
Yeah.
And that's just so hard to do.
It's so hard.
But that's why these people are like experts in what they do.
I mean, but they are experts, but they also just know what they know and like what they like. That's the other thing you always have to remember.
Yes.
It's like everyone's just coloring in from their own preconceived kind of
their personal experiences. Like you hear Jay Chang sing and you know who his influences are, what he loves to sing. Like it's so, do you know what I mean? You don't need to hear an intro video. Just hear him sing and you'd know exactly who he is as a person.
Yes. And he's an artist.
Yeah.
A genuine artist. I'm not even like, I think that word kind of does get thrown around a lot, but like
this is artistry.
There's artistry happening.
Yeah.
It's so easy for him.
I'm already crying.
It's so crazy to watch him do this.
I know.
Because it's so natural, but also learned and perfected. I mean,
and there is nothing.
I just thank you.
Yeah.
Genuinely, thank you.
There is nothing that makes me happier than watching someone so happy.
And he loves to do it.
And he loves to do it. And watching him do it makes me so happy. It makes me feel like I should do things to make me happy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
I know.
Then we get to the next song.
I actually can't talk about the next song. I will be leaving the pod.
The next song, because they literally build it up, but like it's like they're never gonna top it. And they just
I want to say really quickly before before we talk about wumuti and Hayun.
Oh my God.
Before we scream about wumuti and Hayun.
Before I wail for wumuti and Hayun.
Jay's growl, his signature growl.
It's done so perfectly here. Executed perfectly in the right spot. He is like, I'm giving it in the one spot that you want it in.
And I think I'm so happy that Bitseon was like,
do it.
No, just go for it. Don't hold back. Yeah. Don't be like, I have to sound good. Just do it. Because it's a song called, it's like being, I'm so in love that it is like.
It's dangerous. I'm on the brink.
Yes. It's perfect. It's perfect.
And you've already earned it. By the time you get to this point, you've earned doing it.
And Bitseon's high note.
I know. That's what I was shocked too. That's why I was like, I didn't know people have this range.
What do you mean, girl? Okay. That's all I wanted to say about the performance. Those two moments, obvious moments, but they must be commented upon. Yeah. We have to talk about wumuti and Hayun.
I want to. Adam, first, the package was that like wumuti's like, I'm singing this song. It reflects like my journey because I always feel like there is a very specific narrative that they are pushing for wumuti on the show. I know.
And I also think, here's what I'm going to say. If we really want to pull back and be like, let's talk about editing.
What's the meta? Yeah.
They've now referenced this, like, he has to debut storyline twice. Mm-hmm. He obviously has a big fan base. He's third in the interim.
Yeah.
And they did not edit his, like, little rivalry with Jay as shady. It was, like, edited as, like, good-natured fun.
We have journeyed together.
Correct.
To get to this moment.
They easily could have taken that and made him...
It's like Jay versus Wumuti.
The, like,
cocky
mean
villain.
Chinese person.
Absolutely.
They could have done that easily. Now, I do think it's interesting they have not said he's Chinese. I do think that's very interesting. Because I think even during Boys Planet, they were like, Wumuti, you've been here for so long.
Global. You're so Korean.
You have no accent. Like, it's like, you have perfect Korean. Okay, whatever, fine. But I think it's interesting that they made that choice instead of, I thought they were going to make the more obvious choice of making him a villain. And they did not make him a villain. It was very clearly playful.
Yeah.
And they like kind of emphasize that it
Right.
was like they know each other. They have this like
They're congratulating each
Right.
other. He's like, I looked at your face so that to drive me to work harder.
And you
'Cause
could
I know
have
you're
not
great.
done all that and made him a mean person.
Yeah.
And I
know.
it's very interesting.
I know my producer
And I'm
brain is
kind
like,
of like, I love it because
I didn't expect it.
I didn't expect it at all.
I thought he was going to be a mayhem filler.
Okay.
Genuinely.
Genuinely thought it was.
I thought it was going to be a
didn't know
filler
it was
casting.
Because, and especially like after last week, I was like, and he was great last week.
He's good in Ditto,
again,
but
I was
it's like
Ditto, and
it's like, okay, Umuti's like doing his thing again. Like, it's just like covers. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like
Wumuti picked Hyun.
Umuti picking Hyun.
Wumuti said sisters and picked Hyun. And then they decided, well, first they were like, should we do Ariana Grande? And if they had done Ariana Grande, my soul would have left my body.
Yeah.
So it's probably for the best that they didn't.
Yes.
They chose
Falling
by
Miss Styles.
Little Miss Styles. And I am not even, I think Harry Styles has like some bops.
Yeah.
I'm not even like on the Harry Styles train. I'm not at the station. I'm not even looking at the route that the Harry Styles train takes. You know what I mean? It's not for me.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That's fine.
It's for
okay.
a lot of people.
It's for a lot of people, and that's amazing.
And that's great.
Yeah.
I'm just not
But
one
you know
of
what
those
is
people.
for me? This.
But you know what is this for me? Like, if I was Harry Styles, genuinely, I might send a cease and desist and be like, don't ever play this video because people will expect me to be able to do this, and I cannot.
Or if I was Harry Styles, I would be like, get me Umutith and Hyun and bring them to my tour bring them to Harry's house openers right now. Okay. Umuti is like, it represents my story, blah blah blah, that I keep falling, and I just really want to convey that. And even as they're listening,
I don't want to talk about
and
this.
even as they're watching Jay's performance, they're like, just, we're gonna wash over them. Just, that's gonna be okay. I did not expect this from Umuti completely, because I don't think he's ever, in all of these other survival shows, it has not given him this opportunity to, and Sokun says it. It's like, I've judged you in Boys Planet before, but I've never been able to just, I'm so happy that you got to just sit down and show us what you can really do with this voice. No dancing, nothing.
And I think Umuti, has a genuine love for dance. Like the fact that all his covers are like dance covers and blah, 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 blah.
I think he genuinely loves it.
Totally. So I also incorrectly have assumed this entire time that he is a dancer who can sing.
Yes. He wants to be an idol. He wants to be a K-pop idol.
Right.
But strip all of it down, and it's just this pure, like, true, like, mastery of his voice. He understands his voice and still is able to convey all of the emotion. It's like, oh, that's a performer.
I could not believe what was happening on the screen.
I don't mean to.
I couldn't believe
because
it.
the entire time I was like, well, Hyun's going to eat this up. And she does.
And she does, Your Honor.
Adam,
she does.
During the performance, I said, I figured out what Hyun is. Hyun is Adele. It's when I was listening, I was like, this is because he's not giving full face, but it's because it's all in the voice. It reminds me of like the Adele performance, like in concert. Like she is just sitting and just letting it all out through the voice. The voice feels like
it is so textured and layered.
So
and
it's like lives are in this voice. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel
yes. Listening to Hyun sing, first of all, we have to say it again. It is genuinely crazy that his speaking voice is, and
his vocal is Adele.
It's crazy. And it is a bit of a superpower because I do think it does make people, it weakens their defenses, right? If you go in and you're like, that's what he sounds like when he talks.
Oh, okay, great.
So I know what I'm going to hear when
I made up my mind. Like all of a sudden Adele is out here.
Yes, it's crazy. I think for a lot of people, we have a lot of Jay Chang stans.
Yes.
Deservedly. In our who watch the show.
Yeah.
And I think there was some frustration that Chang loses, technically.
Yeah.
And by 4 points.
By 4 points.
And they're 6 points away from a perfect score.
Yes. And he is
what are we even discussing?
And he's number 1 in the voting.
Right. So I'm sure people were frustrated because wumuti should not be, in their view, maybe potentially
the rival.
Should not be the rival. Should not be
Chang.
right. I just feel like these are 2 incredible performances, and I think the judges got it right.
I think so too.
And I am not. That is not to take anything away.
No, of
from
course
Bitseon
not.
and Jay,
Everyone, of course not.
But
I literally just cried about Chang.
I know, but I do think maybe if I had any critique, I would have told Jay to pick someone else to be his partner. It's maybe the only critique. Because I think he
picked someone that was too much of a match?
No. I think, okay. We've talked about what the challenge was.
Yep.
Okay. Wumuti and Hyun is the superior vocalist to Wumuti.
Yes.
Not taking anything away to Wumuti, but it's very clear that that's what's going on here.
Yep.
Wumuti knows this and is willing to take the back seat in this performance. Not in a way where it's like, not in a way where it's Inhwan and Jaekyung, where you start to lose Jaekyung.
Yes.
He's still equally present through the song, but it is to flavor and enhance
what is missing from
Miss Hyun.
Yeah. When it's just like full emotion.
They are perfectly blended.
You are so right. Oh
they
my
are
God.
they're when they sing together, it is
the swell into that one
I mean, like, that's not even to emphasize the fact that they are more emotionally connected to this song than the boys are connected to Dangerously.
Yes.
And I think Dangerously an incredible performance.
Yes.
But Wumuti and Hyun in the bones of this song.
Yes.
In a way that I couldn't believe was happening.
This is the part of musical theater that people are like, people who don't like musical theater, because it's like you have to believe that people are so compelled with emotion that they have to sing.
That words have failed them. This is the classic musical theater thing. You talk until you can't talk anymore, so you
have to sing it out.
And when you can't sing anymore, then you start to dance.
And you start. Here, it's like they are so overcome with the experiences they've had in their lives that they just have to sing this song. I can't even talk about.
Were there lyrics that I was like, I'm sure you are singing about your development as an artist and whatever, but also is there anything else that you're singing about?
Anything else in there about
just who you are,
just who you are,
feel you
where
are,
you are
blah,
right
blah,
now
blah.
in your life, in your time. Yes.
Like there's just, and I think
the
that's the incredible thing about that song.
About music and like that.
You are able to latch onto any of it and start to foist your own narrative upon it. And I think totally I was seeing the song as like a gay man who was like, I've had those moments where you look in the mirror and you're like, who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not even a specifically gay experience, but for me, that was like the biggest who am I was that experience.
Yeah.
This is one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. In the 31 years I have been on Earth.
And they're just sitting on stools.
And they're just sitting. It is completely confident and not cocky.
It is not
assured.
scared.
It is not
It's
scared.
vulnerable, but not scared.
Correct.
Oh my God.
And they're perfect. And they're perfect together. They are perfect as a duet.
Yeah.
In a way that my only critique of Dangerously is that they aren't perfectly matched.
They're not matching.
Yes.
It's like two
I'm watching
vocals
Chang and I'm watching Bitseon. And I'm so happy they're singing together,
Yes.
but it is not perfect.
They are, yes, it is not a unit.
It is not, what is it? Two parallel lines like run next to each other the whole time?
Yeah. It's one line.
There is... Right.
It's one line for Wumuti and Hyun.
Yeah.
They are one line right now.
This will never happen again. I want to be very clear. This performance, you'll never see anything like this ever again. Period. On the show. This is probably the best performance we will see on the show.
Yeah.
And we're going to see so many good performances, but this is genuinely the best one we are going to watch. I truly believe that. Because there was just so much in there that I don't think anyone else is going to be able to access.
Yeah.
And also, like, sorry, we are English speakers, so I was able to, like, latch on maybe a little bit better than I am with the Korean stuff. And I still love when they sing.
I don't think it's that big of a...
I don't think it's that big, but I do think it's not there for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that to say,
if the four of them were in the final, like, were the four of them were
they
the
were
final
fully
group,
like, this should be the final. This should be 4, right here.
The fact that there are so many 4s that I could create, just from this fucking episode.
Yeah, and we've only seen 12 people perform.
It's crazy.
Jae and Bitsayeon get 3 100s and the lowest is a 97. Wumuti and Hyun get 5 100s and the lowest is 98.
Yep.
It is splitting hairs.
Yep.
4 points that separated them.
Yep.
And the way that Jae and Bitsayeon fully were just like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And they're like hugging. And Wumuti is like fully overcome with emotion. He's crying because I think he probably was like, I'm filler. That's probably why I'm here. And like to be able to actually come through and connect with the people that I respect so much.
It's magic.
I
mean, I know we're focusing so much on Wumuti because we know him, but like also this Hyun performance is incredible.
The fact that they were like, Hyun, who are you? What do you want? What do you want to do with this voice? Literally, they were like, what do you want to do with this voice? Because you can literally do anything.
Whatever contract
in the
want,
world.
Let's sign it. Let's sign the damn contract.
Oh my God. I know, this is bad. This is really bad. This is worse than Boys Planet. In like my deep connection with these people.
I feel like lucky that I'm watching it.
You know?
Like genuinely. That's I think like what I keep coming back
yes,
to
because
is like
someone has to fucking record the stream.
I know.
And then upload it in the dark web for us to watch.
I know. It's just the thing of like K-pop fans want everyone to know about their faves because this is what kind of the point I was making earlier. K-pop fans want everybody to know about their faves because they're like, they're the best, blah, blah, blah. But like, I am so mad that everyone on earth is not watching this.
Yeah.
It's like how I felt after I watched Parasite, where I was like, everyone should see this movie.
Yeah.
Because it is like the craft making ever done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just, like when things are so good that's like, this should be proselytized.
Yeah.
We should be celebrating in the streets. There should be a parade for this performance. And there is one every June. It was so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Genuinely both of these were so good. I couldn't believe this was happening. They were like, we're going to do Charlie Puth and Harry Styles. And I was like, if we could not, that would be absolutely great. And then who ate crow? This bitch. Top 4 in the interim was Jae, donghun, Wumuti, and Sunghoon.
So still the same from the first episode?
Still the same from the first episode, yeah. I don't know how they're going to go about with the group
elimination.
That doesn't... I don't know.
It looks like it's like...
something and then they're going to choose.
Something and then they're going to choose,
blah, blah, blah. Who knows? We'll find out next week.
I think it's going to be just 10 people. So they're going to cut it in half and then only 10 people are eligible. I need to fucking sedate myself.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.